We always forget about the time difference.
Dude, it is always hard for me to pick up with to pick out the idea of something is at the same time but different also. How is that possible? So yeah.
I know. Yeah, well, I do want to say, benvindo de volta, mio amigo.
Got it. Nice, nice. That Brazilian accent though, nice.
Okay. All right, what is up,
Nice.
everyone? Welcome back to another special edition of the Rated G podcast. I am your host, G. Terado. If you are new here, welcome to the show. Here on the podcast, I like to sit down with friends, fellow local artists, makers, crafters, creative entrepreneurs, and I try to help promote their brand while engaging on long form conversations, to get to know each other a little bit more. And so if you enjoy this content, please be sure to hit that follow and subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and feel free to leave any comments or questions in that comment section so we can, build up that algorithm. And I'm always providing links in the show descriptions in case you want to continue to follow myself or my guests outside the podcast. And I do want to welcome back our regular listeners and viewers as well. So thank you for coming back. And so this is a special occasion because joining me on this episode 156 is a dear friend of mine from across the globe. He is a young, bright, and very talented individual tuning in or zooming in from Luanda, Angola. So let's welcome back my dear friend, Gerson Lemos.
You gotta do the I forgot the term where you put the tongue out. Like this is from your culture, if I'm not mistaken.
What's that?
How do you call that? How do you call that?
Is it? Are you referring to like that DJ sound, the bullhorn thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I was talking about you have this cultural thing where you kind of scream and put your tongue out and start screaming. Normally you have a how do you call that? I don't know the name.
Whistling? Whistling?
No, it's for example on your profile picture, you
Uh,
have accompanying you with how do you call that traditional how can I describe it? Traditional ritual. Is it ritual? Okay, I can call it ritual.
is it you talking about the facial expression
Yes, and
with the tongue
like
out?
yes, with the tongue out.
Okay. So, all right. So, it's actually not part of my culture. That's part of the New Zealand culture. But
I was about to say that,
yeah.
but I wasn't right, so I wasn't sure. So I was like, no, maybe I'm butchering someone's culture, so I better stop.
It's totally fine. I mean, in your defense, me being such a, I don't know, enthusiast or just a lover of the Maori culture, I have
That's it,
done a
Maori.
lot of that. So I have expressed a lot using their express, it's called the pukana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, you mainly used for intimidation, prior to battle and competition. But I mean, I have lots of videos and photos of me doing that. I mean, I still love
a
the
lot
culture.
of posts also. You're always sharing something related to Pukana.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Like a month doesn't go by that you don't post it. So I was like, okay.
That's a fair point. Because like, well, I see it in my feed, and when they it's I don't know how to articulate it in terms just personally. Like anytime I see something from New Zealand, it's an automatic like trigger, but in a positive way. Like I just
Mhm.
immediately get hyped up and pumped up, and then I just fall into that spiral, going back into the haka and their
Mhm.
traditional ways. So
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's their expression. It's nice though.
No, yeah. I mean, yeah, I love it. It gets the job done, right? It gets you pumped up, especially when you're
Hmm.
in competition mode. But yeah, I'm I'm glad we're able to do this again because the last time we had that little power failure thing. But
Yeah.
I gotta say, because I was talking to Nicole, and I was like, yeah, like, and I'll even say this to the audience. I avoid recording on weekends because, that's around the time where I start finalizing the episode to get it out, in the following Monday. But I'm gonna say, my boy Gerson here, he gets special treatment. I would even say he has the golden ticket. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh.
whenever he wants to sit down and pot it up, even if it's on the weekend, I'll make it happen if I don't have any other plans because that's just how it is with me and him. Me and Jerson, if I'm not speaking out of turn, we have a pretty good bond and a lot of respect uh for each other. So I always make time for Jerson when I can. And
Yeah, to be
yeah.
honest, first of all, well, thank you, by the way. That's so considerate of you. I'm flattered, actually. But I was actually concerned. I was like, dude, because I don't know how it is to work from Monday to Friday. And I was like, this is weekend and this is the time he has to spend with his wifey and with his peers and family. I was like, am I overstepping? Maybe we should postpone to a better for a better time for both of us. So I was like, yeah, this is not good. And the last time the pod was a mess because of me. So I was like, yeah, I don't know. That's why I was sending you so many messages throughout the day because of that. I was really concerned. I was like, no, I'm taking away his leisure time. That's not good, man. But hearing that for you, that's I'm very flattered. Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. No, like, I mean, honestly, like if I couldn't make it happen, I'd tell you, you know how it is. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know, man. Like if I'm being truly honest too, in regards to everyone else that's been on the show, it's just you and I just keep in touch. So I don't know. I hate to say it's like almost like playing favoritism. Like if
Mm.
there's people that I just really am bonding with on a frequent basis, and truly, yeah, I don't know. It's just like if we're like in touch as much as we are, like, yeah, man, fucking I'll make time to if you want, of course, if the person yourself or whoever wants to be on a podcast to like shoot the shit, make some content, share whatever stories they got, like I'll make time for it because of all the moments built, with the other conversations, private conversations, and just like having real, like, just honestly, like treating a friendship like a real friendship, which is kind of weird. Like I have this weird thing about like when to justify a friendship as a friendship because everything is all online. So I always feel like
Mm.
to really
Mm.
build a legitimate friendship, like it requires like, so like a live, like, physical interaction,
Mm.
but
Mm.
I just feel like with, of course you're across the world, so we do it in our messages, but we do it so often that it's like it does feel as natural as if you were like 20 minutes away from me or something. So
Mm.
yeah. So when I feel a strong bond, a strong uh friendship, camaraderie, I'll say it. I play favorites, and I'll always want to have them back on the podcast if they were up to it. And you always seem up for it when you have the time. But you
Mm.
yourself are a workhorse too, so you're over there being concerned about my privacy, my private time. But I mean, you're working on weekends now, so like you could be
Yeah,
using this
yeah.
time to just like veg out and relax and watch your shows and what and like do your thing, but you're sitting here creating content with me. So, the again, right? It goes like the respect is it's mutual.
Mm, yeah, nice.
So I don't know where I was really going with that rant, but anyway.
It just popped out. So
I guess
yeah,
I'm
we
I guess
went
I'm
with
just
it.
trying to kind of bring up any new audience. It's nice to just address it.
Mm,
But yeah, man, you're working a lot. So it's really admirable, especially when you choose to work on the weekends. Like, fuck.
mm,
But like, is it the same job? Because you're right, you're a teacher. You teach English. Am
mm-hmm.
I remembering that? So do you teach English on weekends too? Like it's like all the same gig.
Yeah, it's all the same gig, but the weekend thing is my thing. It's like a private thing. I teach for friends mostly.
Oh, I
So yeah,
see.
yeah.
Um,
Literally just help them create momentum and confidence enough to speak. Because
that's
most of them they have the foundation and the basis, but they don't feel confident enough to talk. So I'm always there. Okay, we can talk. We can just spend an hour. We pretty much just do a live podcast, just talking about random stuff and kind of trying to polish their English, like the grammar
hmm,
and stuff. And that's what we do.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, and that's really cool. That you do that, especially I guess like on the weekends it's probably a little more because it's with people it's a
Mm.
little more
Yeah.
casual.
Yeah.
Um, it does bring. I do have some questions regarding, I guess, just being a teacher over there in Angola, because
Hmm.
I told you the last time we talked, like I've been having a run through of guests that are teaching still or have been
Hmm.
teachers in the past, and I just find it so interesting that I guess somehow creatively I'm like drawn towards
Hmm.
educators. But I'm curious, like, so I have a good friend. He's no stranger to the pod, Nick Makoviak.
Hmm.
And the last time he was on, he was really showing some of he was sharing his insights on the educational system. Well, not the educational system so much, but more of like the hardships of being a teacher nowadays with the kids,
Hmm.
with them having the exposure to the social media and just all these like, just like the drama of being a teacher.
Hmm.
Like I don't know, like is it is it tough being a teacher in Angola? Like I mean, and I guess it depends on the age group that you're teaching. Like I
Mm.
imagine you're teaching young adults.
Young
Okay.
adults and also teenager mostly.
Okay. So like
Yeah.
it so
But
I
this
guess
this is this is art wise. If I'm teaching art, teenagers, but English adults only.
okay. So yeah, I mean
Yeah.
like regardless of the subject, right? Because Nick he's an art teacher. But
Hmm.
I imagine this is like happens with any subject, but like I've been so curious because every time you and I talk, we always kind of like see how society is in our
Hmm.
in our country, because it's
Hmm.
like because sometimes you'll tell me things, I'm like, oh shit, like I didn't know, especially regarding America. Like, oh, I didn't know like people looked at America that way around the,
Hmm.
everywhere else around the world. But I'm curious, like I mean, I don't even know if you see it often, like on your feed on social media or main media news, but like, do you see or witness like the hardships that like the between the teacher and student, like the teacher student relationship? Like, because being a teacher here is super tough. They definitely don't get compensated
Hmm.
enough. Like, they don't get paid enough to have to
Hmm.
deal with not only teaching and coming up with a curriculum, but also dealing with the drama, that the kids bring
Hmm.
from their homes. So I'm wondering, like,
Hmm.
I'm just curious on like the scale of like, if like America's issues with teaching is like here, like is Angola any worse? Is it more or less as hard being a teacher there? Like I've been so curious as of late.
Nice
So like how's
question.
your
That's a
like
very interesting
to
question.
so to break it to make it even simpler, like how's your relationship with your students? Like is it a mutual respect, or do you find yourself struggling to get their attention to learn the curriculum?
Interesting. Well, I guess it depends. It's subjective, I would say, but my case is very specific because I teach adults and they're like grown-ups. They're like sirs and ladies and stuff. So they know what they're doing. And normally when I teach, I think it also comes down to the methodology you use or the institution you work for, the school uses.
Mhm.
I use references. Yeah, I always use references and games, and it works for me. It is easy to draw their attention. For example, let's say we're talking about nouns. I'm always going to bring music. I'm always going to bring movies. I'm always going to bring books, and that's why normally in the introduction lesson, I always try to regurgitate as much information about them so that I can use them in my favor. Whenever I have to teach them specific things, grammar things, I already know what to use. Since it's things they like, so it's easier for them to participate. It is very hard for you not to participate when we are talking about something you like and something you know already. So
Mm.
that's what I do, and it works for me. But when it comes to kids, I would say it's the same. I would say it's the same.
Like the same as in
Um,
it's
and I would say
hard, or I didn't mean to cut you
I would say it's the same as hard as okay, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. No worry. I would say the same struggles teachers from the US go through is the same as we go through around here. Because kids are kids, regardless of the country or culture, they're kids.
off. Yeah.
And also depends on their, I would say, upbringings and their parents' education also. Most of them are, the spoiled ones are very hard to deal with, but those yeah, yeah. There are also those who are very smart, bearing the gift level. So those kids are very easy to deal with. You don't have to do much. They pretty much kind of teach the lesson with you. So I would say it depends. There
Mhm.
are a lot of nuances and factors that goes along with this. So it depends.
Yeah, I was just okay. I was just curious.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But I've been catching up on some memes. I don't know if they're real. Most of the memes are real, but not all of them. About what you said about U.S. teachers' relation with their students, and most of them I can relate to it because my father used to be a teacher. He taught for 39 years. So yeah, so many stories, and also I happened to be one of his students on year 4. Yeah, year 4. I happened to be one of his students, and I get to see personally how he teaches. So, and the relation between him and the students and the other students, I can say that I pretty much emulate his techniques when it comes to teaching, and it works because it works for him, and he's known as a good teacher around the community. Every place I go, wherever I go, people say, "Oh, you are teachers Lemos' son. Ah, your father used to be very good. Blah blah blah. Thanks him. Now I know how to do this and that, and that." So I was like, okay, it works. So I use his techniques as well, and
Uh,
he used to use a lot of games also and
mm.
appeal to the things students like and resonate with. So that's what I've been doing also, and so far it works.
I mean, yeah, why not, right? Like if your dad's already kind of put out the blueprint, let's say, on like how you can,
Yeah.
how you can engage with your students with lessons, like, yeah, why not? If it's, yeah, why not go by it if it's working, especially if it also works with
Mm,
your teaching too. Um,
mm,
so your dad was a teacher as well. That's fun. But
mm-hmm.
So actually, my
Yeah.
my dad was a teacher also.
No.
Yeah.
So many things in
So like,
common,
who
man.
knows? Maybe that's why I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm drawn to educators. But yeah, my dad taught um high school AP calculus, and it was like a private, it
Mm,
was like an all boys all male school. But he was just
mm,
from what I remember hearing as a kid, like he was well respected. Um, like he actually
mm.
to this was actually what I thought was pretty cool. It was that at the end of every year he would actually host a barbecue with his students. So he would invite his students
Nice.
over. They're all they're yeah, all pretty much Filipino. But they'll all come
Mm.
over and just like hang out with my dad and just I don't know, probably just talk about the year, how it went and everything. Uh
Reminiscing.
yeah, probably. I don't know. Like I mean, I was really young too, so but I imagine they were probably all speaking in Tagalog. So, I don't know what was said,
Mm.
but I will say I remember just seeing my dad wasted. Like it's like knocked out. And he had his friends too. He had his friends over as well. But I thought that was really cool of my dad to yeah, just like end the school year with a barbecue and some,
Mm.
you know, and just like hang
They
out.
probably used to have a great time. Yeah.
I mean, I would think so. Like I wouldn't be able to tell you how many times, but I remember that was a thing for a while. Is that on summertime, summer
Mm.
break, he would invite, and I would see his students. Sometimes they would bring
Mm.
their Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Now you're talking my language. Nice.
Well, at the time, right? Because I'm older, but at the time it was when like
Mm.
Xbox. It was like the early stages of Sony and Xbox.
What you mean I'm older? You're out here saying I'm older as if you were like 55. Come on, man.
No, but I'm saying I'm just in a general sense. I'm all, how old are you?
Uh,
How old are you?
well, I'm 26. I just turned 26.
All right, well, happy belated birthday. But yeah, I got 10 years on you, bro. I'm like
Decade. Okay, okay, got it.
like
Now, okay,
I'm gonna
okay,
be
okay.
I'm gonna be 37.
You have all the rights to
But yeah,
37.
yeah, I'll be 37 in November. I'm a Scorpion.
Circling back to the teacher struggles with them students. I teach for adults, so around here there is this hierarchy thing where adults know they're supposed to know everything, and since I'm a young man, I'm in no position to teach them. So in the beginning, it was hard. Not all of them, a few of them. So I was like, this kid is about to teach us. What
Yeah.
does he know? What does he know? So it was always hard, but um, thank God I'm a easy person. I would say I deal very easy with people. I make friends easily. So it was just one or two lessons, and then it was easy because I
Okay.
get to be their friends, and things start to go smoothly. But still, you can feel they're judging all the time
Yeah.
because just a simple fact because I'm a kid. Yeah. So yeah, it is kind of hard.
Yeah,
I
no,
have to prove
that's
myself every single lesson.
right. You
Yeah.
gotta you gotta earn their trust that like you actually know
Mm.
the the
Mm.
knowledge that you're sharing with them to, better their
Mm.
English language. So there's like, oh, I
Thank
gotta
God
listen.
in that department, not gonna brag about it, not gonna lie. Well, I'm like skyrocket. Like, yeah, I have no issues when it comes to knowledge. I give them what they need. Yep.
That's good, man.
Regardless
Hey,
if it's life knowledge, regardless if it's life knowledge, regardless if it's like actual knowledge, like grammar or English or Portuguese, I give them what they need, what they're looking for.
but that's cool, man.
Yeah.
I really respect that because like every now and then when you share stuff in your stories, like the videos that you share in your stories, like that's all from class or like after class or something.
Mm.
That's
Mm-hmm,
cool,
mm-hmm.
man.
In class most of the time.
Okay. No, that's cool, man. And hey, fucking like more respect to you. Like the criteria that you're teaching. Like that's what it's supposed to be. But it's I can understand why it'd be challenging to kind of like gain their full respect and trust.
Trust.
Teaching them. It's like like why is this kid teaching me how to say like a sentence or something, or like use these words correctly. Um,
Properly, yeah.
yeah. I wonder, right? For any culture that's learning the English language, I imagine what it's like proper English. Like, how do you how do you
Mm.
get by with like the new slang that tends to change as time
Mm.
goes on? Because like shit,
All the time.
yeah, just everything changes all the time, and I myself have trouble keeping up with the new slang, like fuck, kids saying note cap,
Mm.
like people saying bet. Like I'm still getting used to
Yeah,
that, and I
yeah.
love I love fucking with them because especially when they're like, oh yeah, bet. I'll be like, nah, I don't gamble, man. I don't gamble.
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
it's just like, man,
Yeah.
we
A
really
friend of
do.
mine, a friend of mine says that all the time. One of my colleagues, he says that all the time, all the bad. I'm like, bad dude. What? And I'm like, okay, this is a slang. Oh, okay, okay, got it. Well, one thing I teach them, and one thing I learned as a kid is that semantics is very important. Like the meaning of the words are very important. They are most more important than the actual words itself. And this, if you know how to identify the meaning of the word is going to help the context of the sentence is going to work for you. Regardless if you know the word or not, but if you know, okay, these words in the middle in this sentence, what that's supposed to mean. The rest of it is leading towards this. So this must be this. Regardless if you know the meaning of the word or not, eventually you figure out what it is. And that's what I teach them. Even in Portuguese is the same. So semantics is very important. That
Yeah.
and for us, we listen to rap music, and we're used to listen to wordplay and puns and stuff. So this kind of close to heart for us. So yeah.
Yeah, but there's an art to that. So that's what's cool, you know, like the whole lyricism,
Mm,
the art of lyricism. Um,
yeah, yeah,
but no,
yeah.
I mean it's cool. Like I think I said it, even like I don't know, one of the last times you were on here, I was like, your English is better than mine, man. You know more words than I do. You got better vocabulary than I do.
Nah, I don't. I don't. I definitely don't. Don't even start it. I definitely don't.
Um,
And what I actually do is, so you like Transformers, right?
yeah, grew up on it.
So I am literally Bumblebee. You know what he does? He don't
Bumblebee is
talk.
awesome.
So he uses radio waves, radio stations, other people's speeches. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm speaking, in my mind, I am reciting someone else's speech. Like whether if it's in a movie, videos on YouTube, music, I mean songs, and that's what I do. That's
Yeah.
how I remember which words, which sentences I should. Essentially, what Bumblebee did. Oh, that's what I do.
I mean, yeah, that's what we all do, right? Like that's what I do. Like I'll try to like, if I'm watching a movie and they're in another country or something, or
Mm,
like we all do that same thing. So yeah, that's um
yeah,
fascinating. Uh crap. I did have I thought I had a question before, specific one. It kind of
you should write them down.
I know, well, I have like key points, but
Okay.
regarding Bumblebee. See, I'm not
Mm,
not too high yet, so I can remember. But Bumblebee, like I don't know why Michael Bay chose to do that with Bumblebee with his voice, because that was never his case in the comic books or in the cartoon.
mm,
So
mm-hmm,
that was Michael Bay's, I guess, his choice to
idea.
do the thing with the radio and the satellites.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
So
Because
anyway,
the only thing what happened is that Megatron kind of messed up his speaking box or something while they were still fighting to get away from Cybertron, and
well, Well, yeah,
it,
like it got damaged when he landed, but then he never got it fixed, which I thought
mm,
was weird. Well, technically, he did get it fixed at the end of the first movie, but then always kept with the radio satellite voices, sound bit.
mm.
So that it's weird. Because yeah, if you go
Yeah,
back and watch it,
but I was,
yeah, if you go back
but I
and
was
watch
talking
it,
about now you can go. Sorry.
yeah, for the
A
audience,
delay, man.
there's the lag there. Anyway, um, at the end of the first Transformers movie, Bumblebee gets his original voice back. He gets it fixed, but
Mm,
then they just never carried on with it. They go back to use
mm.
radio. I never understood why.
Same.
No,
It
what were
makes
you
no
gonna
sense.
say?
When I talk when he's frowning when when I talked about Megatron damaging his voice box or something, I was talking about the first animation, the
Uh,
90s something. Yeah, I was talking about the animation, and also
Wait,
Transformers
which animation
Prime
though?
animation,
Oh, okay.
the first one,
Like the
the first and
original
and Transformers Prime. Yeah, the original. Yeah.
Transformers Prime isn't the original though.
No. I mean, both in Transformers, the original and Prime, they also talk about the same thing.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
But only when it comes to Bumblebee and his non-ability to speak anymore. They try
Right.
to explain why, and they have these flashbacks explaining. Yeah,
Oh, okay. So, interesting.
yeah.
But like even then, it's just like it's curious, like why they went with that for
Mm.
Bumblebee. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Oh
know it is.
yeah.
They're always changing key points
No,
from
no, I
characters to
appreciate
trying to
that.
make it good, but and then they just messed up, and the true fans look like what the hell is this?
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
thought this was a good idea? And the I would say um, the people who doesn't know or who don't know actually, sorry, uh, the actual story behind it, they'll be like, okay, this is good actually. And you look at them, how? But yeah, it looks like nowadays it's like that. They always change the main story. Why? I don't know why they
Well,
do that.
I think it's
I
just
think it's to appeal to new audiences, but
I was gonna
yeah,
say,
probably. Ah,
yeah.
okay, nailed it.
So I mean aside from work, like what else have you been up to?
That's a tough question. I just got yeah, it is a tough question because it is very hard when you always get home wasted, literally tired, and you only take a bath and eat something. Sometimes you don't even eat properly and you fall asleep instantly. And the next day you need to repeat the cycle, and it's like from Monday to Friday, and sometimes for me now is also on the weekends. So it is very hard to catch up on anything else. It is very hard, especially because I work for from 8:30 to 6:30.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get home around 8 p.m.
Mm.
Mm. So I only have like from 9 to midnight to do something,
Oh,
and which mostly I end up just sleeping as soon as I get home. So it is very hard. But on the weekends, I get home, especially Sunday. I get home around 5 p.m. Mostly I just catch up on some animes on YouTube, or I downloaded them
yeah.
from you know what, you know where, or I just play some games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do that. And or just catch up on some games, just play some games. I just got the Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, the reboot, and I'm about to play it today. So yeah, that's essentially what I do. And since I also deliver both in company and in school lessons, most of the time, especially Tuesday from Tuesday to Thursday, I only deliver online classes. So in between time, I always do the link like every single day. If you go to my
But
desktop, you'll find so many drawings.
you just don't post them. You're
Yeah, I just don't post them. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know why I don't post them.
I mean, hey, to each their own, you know. Like some people just don't want to
Yeah.
share their work. I'm at this point where I'm kind of like a little obsessed, like trying to stay relevant on social media. Like I'm always trying to post at least a couple of times, uh, just to
Mhm.
try to keep people's interest. Like I always like love.
That's good actually.
I know, but
It
like
keeps the engine going though.
it gets to a point though. It gets like it kind of gets like fatiguing. It's like and personally, like sometimes I just get a
Mm.
little annoyed with myself that it's like it does feel like super narcissistic and but I am trying to push my business. So it's like this weird teeter totter,
Mm.
like how I feel about it. But
Mm.
it's necessary. Like if I was truly all in, I'd be on every
Mhm.
plat. I would be like Gary V, right? I'd just be on every social platform pushing the business. But I'm a
Mm.
I'm an artist when it comes down to it. So it's like I forget who I'm sure I had this conversation with multiple artists on the podcast, but it's just like it doesn't feel natural. It's kind of like imposter syndrome, really. It's like I'm an artist. I
That's what
want
I
to
was about to say. Mm.
create the art and not, I mean, yeah, promote it, but like just the level of marketing and stuff is like so unnatural for me, for a lot of artists. So
Mm.
that's the
Mm.
struggle there. But I do, I'm trying. I even said it on an old episode. I was like, I want to stop posting so many work in progress pictures and like I called it I
Mm.
call it selling the
Those
sizzle.
are the best part.
I know, but it's just I don't know. I guess when I do that, um, I don't know. I guess when I'm posting my content, I'm really hoping it's gonna grab an interest for that's gonna lead to sales, really,
Mm.
because that's the business. I'm trying to
Mm.
make
Okay.
sales, so sometimes that's not the case.
Now, now I'm thinking. Sorry to interrupt, but is it because you're doing both jobs, like the marketing and also the artist work?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of so it's very individual, but I know some people that handle themselves very well, like with the creating the art
Mm.
and doing the marketing and the business aspect. It's really, just me. It's really unnatural for me, keeping up with the numbers, like sales, and
Mm.
it's like all the business
Yeah, that's
part
what
of
I
it
thought.
is not for me. Like I'm more of the labor guy. Like I'll
Mm.
do the work,
Same,
but
same. Mm.
I do love sharing stuff. So it's weird. It's
Mm.
like it's just like a push.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just me though. Um,
Maybe if you delegate someone to do the marketing part and you just focus on creating the content, like being an artist,
yeah, I
like
mean,
24, yeah.
I would just have to find someone I trust 110%.
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
also, just having a way to compensate them for their
Mm.
time that's like fair enough. Like
Mm-hmm.
I definitely don't have the money to compensate for them. So like it's like more of a favor, if anything, and I don't want to put that on anyone. Um, I mean, maybe I don't know if I can just like I'm trying to find a way to collaborate so that it'd be like an equal exchange. Um,
Mm-hmm. Nice. Be- Because I don't know about you guys there, but around here there are many people who are willing to volunteer. I used to be one of the volunteers. I
oh
work for Facebook for free. Did you know that?
no, I didn't know that.
For like almost 3 years straight, nonstop. I helped translate English version Facebook to Portuguese.
Oh shit, that's pretty dope.
Hmm. Because when it started, it was only English, and many people use it Many features they weren't available because it was only in English, so they needed translators and proofreaders and stuff. So I was like, okay, I can do that. So
Mm.
there are many people willing to help you as long as you. This is kind of weird me talking about asking for help because I don't I have many big time struggle with asking for help regardless. But yeah, maybe you know someone there is people you know or they that know you like peers and friends that they're willing to help you with that. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it doesn't hurt to ask, but yeah, I
Mm.
don't know. I guess I just haven't found somebody yet. But yeah, yeah. So there's always those like those challenges when trying to just be the creator and the
Mhm.
businessman, businesswoman,
Yeah. Yeah,
business.
because I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna lie, but this is kind of what killed my artist career, I would say, because I was doing everything at once. I was being the marketer, I was being the artist, and
Yeah,
it is hard.
it's a yeah.
It kind of,
You can
yeah,
burn out for sure, and especially if
yeah.
you're working a regular day job too to
Mm, mm, mm,
pay the
mhm,
bills and stuff. So like I don't know, I've been vocal about it, but my position's different than a lot of other people. I have a
okay.
partner and who happens to be successful in her career, so I have a
Hmm.
safety net. She's super supportive though. So like, not even
That's awesome.
financially, but like morally and all that, emotionally and all that. So,
Mm.
but I always
And
feel
that's
guilty.
the most important.
Like I always feel guilty because I have a safety net. So I don't have the quite complete understanding of some of other people's struggles when trying to like deal with that. Um, so yeah,
Mm.
like I try to be as empathetic as much as possible. Because we always fall into the subject of AI when we're talking privately.
Yeah.
There were a
Yeah.
couple of articles that showed up on my feed. Normally, when I'm like if I'll do like a news roundup when I do like a solo podcast, but I don't know. There's a couple of ones that I thought would maybe pique your interest a little bit. See if you heard anything about this. So you know how like we like artists would always crack about AI not being able to illustrate hands.
Hmm. No, I didn't. Yeah,
Well,
this
like
is hard for us also. So yeah,
what's that?
it is hard for some of
Well,
us artists to draw hands.
it
So
is, but
imagine,
like I
yeah.
mean, if you look at AI's paintings of people, like they're always adding additional fingers or like
Yeah,
they do
yeah.
something really anatomically incorrect. Um, like the photos too. Like anytime I see AI photos, I go straight to the hands. I'm like, how does the hands look? But anyway, AI can now draw hands. So
Mm. That's.
according to an article.
Mm.
Um,
Did they show any proofs?
so let me go to the link and see because I
Yeah,
just saw the
because
headline and I
okay, nice. Because I'm very skeptical when it comes to articles.
all right,
They have
so
these big time headlines,
I am
and most
too.
of the time they don't even provide proofs. It was like, dude, I just wasted
I'm
5 minutes
generally
of my
a
life reading this.
I'm generally a skeptic myself. Like I'm just like with
Nice,
everything. But
nice.
I don't know. I still like when I hear something new, like I like to
Mm-hmm.
bring I just like to kind of like bring awareness to the
Yeah,
concept. Be like, hey, like
that's what's up.
I don't know how true this is, but
Mm-hmm.
this is in the air now. Like this is a thing to possibly discuss or like
Okay.
be concerned about. So I don't know how true this article is. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
someone out there who would be more invested would probably want to prove me wrong. But yeah, there's pictures on this website. The image generators have figured out the coding or
Mm.
whatever. Because that was the AI's defense on why they can't draw hands is that hands are. I mean, I think it applies to us too. Like fingers are so complex, and for
They
them,
are.
that was the same case. Like uh, having enough information in like the database to be able to just create organic, real looking, fingers. So yeah, that was the thing, but I
Mm,
guess they have enough data to be able to do such a thing. Let me just see what
mm.
it says
They
here.
finally cracked the code.
Yeah, basically, that's what it sounds
We're
like.
going.
Is it Midjourney? I think is the the AI that has been able to, and I'm looking at the pictures and they look better than what we've seen in the AI generated photos of people. Like these are just shots of hands. So I guess it's just show it. This one kind of looks a little fucked up, but yeah. So I thought that was interesting because like everyone, including myself, would always joke around about AI not being able to.
Able to draw hands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so but here we go. They
That was
got
like the only thing against them we could use. But now they finally cracked the code.
exactly.
But
So
that doesn't mean we're going to be jobless. There's still hope. There's still hope.
well, I think I said it when I did a solo podcast. But I was like, hey man, like let this, why not try to look at this as a way to be like, shit, I gotta step my game up. Like if I want to be that
Mm,
skillful,
mm,
reach that peak of, well, for the individual, like, yeah, I want to be that good. Like, hey man, let this be a thing to push you forward, instead of like hating on it.
yeah.
Because
Because
like when
because
AI got big, like everyone was like,
mm,
especially I have like artists, like other friends that were posting the anti AI, art. And I'm just like, like I get it and I agree it's gonna fuck up a lot. It's gonna take away a lot of jobs, but it's
mm,
like what is that gonna do? Like posting that in your social media, like AI still it's gonna just get
mm,
better and better. So like, it's just people conforming, I guess. But yeah.
mm. And I forget what I was about to say. So at some point in time, regardless of how fast the technology progress, we're always trying to look back, like when it comes like the vintage concept, like
Yeah.
okay, so we have Teslas now, but still, I'm like leaning towards the Dodge Chargers, like the old ones, the Mustangs, and I don't know, it just has a feeling to it. So it's like I think it's the same thing with artists and the traditional drawing because people nowadays there are artists out there that can produce this incredible hyper realistic drawing that you're not even going to spot the difference and say okay this is handmade. No, this is machine made.
Mm.
But still we're still looking for like traditional drawings because it has the human component, the human aspect to it added to it. So it kind of makes it special for some reason. I can't even articulate properly, but it is. I feel that way, especially same thing with CGI and the traditional way of producing movies. Nowadays, it just feels like it got in stale for some reason.
Well,
I'm always
because
looking forward to.
you're seeing the work, right? You're seeing it actually being created by somebody,
Yeah,
not just a computer.
yep,
So like the fact that
like
there is,
magically.
yeah, like the fact that there's someone behind the pencil or
Mm-hmm,
what have you, like there's somebody, a sentient being, like making this thing, whatever it is.
mm, mm, mm.
Yeah.
And that came out of his mind, out of his hands. It
Or
transcended
her,
literally from his head. Oh, her. Okay, we're not discriminating.
or
Or
they.
her. Yep, yep. But this is kind of this is a good topic also. Because I don't
Uh,
know, in Portuguese, normally when you say him, you're also talking about her automatically. You don't need to say or her. It's just like when you say mankind. You see,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you don't need to say like, yeah, it's the same semantics, the same meaning. It has the same meaning. So
Yeah,
yeah,
right. I think
I'm just not used to say her or like, you know,
No,
choosing
that's
genders out. I say one, and he represents all of them.
no, that's legitimate. Like we always like me and my siblings would always joke around with my mom because my mom her English has always been like pretty broken, and she would
Mm.
always mix up him and her. Like she would always reverse it because of just the language. Um
Mm.
I wouldn't really be
Mhm.
able to explain in detail like what the difference is in Tagalog, but she would always switch it. It was always flip-flopped. And
Mhm.
like, it's I think that just goes for a lot of foreign languages. Like anytime pertaining
Mhm.
to a group of people or whatever, like the form, I guess like the formal term would always be like male, right? Like I think we talked
Mm.
about this last time.
Yeah.
Like words had
Yeah.
some
Yes, we did.
yeah. So yeah,
Mhm.
again, I guess like the woke people and then I don't even know if it's like woke people, but the like I'm not even like trying to like hate on trans or anyone, but it's just I feel like the
That's not the case. Yeah, it's
English
not the case.
language is just getting so like murky because like words are meanings are changing constantly.
Dude, Portuguese too.
Yeah.
Portuguese too. Portuguese too. Which is crazy because the prime concept of the language helps you address every single gender, sorry, easily. But they're now trying to create others who are very kind of selective. Sometimes it works, sometimes random, I would say. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So it's complicated. If we could just stick to the prime version, I would say it would be easier if you just accept it how it is and how it works. But still, you know how people are, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just so weird.
Because we yeah, because when we use like subject pronouns and object pronouns, we're trying to differentiate humans from objects and animals, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
There's humans, there's animals, and there's objects, and the rest. If I address men, sometimes I'm always also addressing the people.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'm not talking about animal. I'm talking about people. I'm not talking about objects. I'm talking about person. I'm talking about people. So it's kind of redundant and kind of repetitive, saying him, her, she, he. Yeah, that's why we have they, I guess. But okay, it's a different ball game. It's a different conversation, I guess.
Yeah. Uh I don't know if I'm cognizant enough to dive any deeper than that.
Nah, dude, it's okay. It's okay. Don't
as
even
you
start. It's
as
okay.
you may have seen me hit my bowl here. Sunday fun day, okay?
Uh-huh. I didn't know that. Is that an idiom? Nice. I like
Well,
that.
Sunday fun day. So Sunday you kind of just chillax or lazy
That's
Sunday.
an idiom.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
see, like the word. Like
okay.
I wouldn't be able to tell you,
Uh,
yeah, that's the idiom here in America. Like it's just yeah,
yeah.
it's a saying that we
Yeah.
have. Um, oh, I don't know um, if you saw the clip I put out, my little rant about retro video games. Have you seen that by any chance?
I was about to, I was about to watch it, but then something
Okay.
else popped up and I
No,
couldn't. But
no,
I
it's
will.
it's
I
fine.
will. It's on my watch
I was,
list. I will.
well, I'm only bringing it up because you brought up, video games earlier, and I wanted to,
Uh,
I wanted to tell you that I've been playing retro video games for a while now.
nice. Which ones?
Well, I have the what do you call it? Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection. So it has
Okay.
all of 13 original games from
No.
the Nintendo, Super
Does it
Nintendo.
does it have turtles in time?
Yeah, yeah, all of it, dude. I'm talking
Oh
they have
man.
the Nintendo games, the Super Nintendo,
Uh-huh.
Sega, Game Boy, and the arcade versions of of the
Nice.
franchise.
This is for
And
what? Xbox?
yeah, on my Xbox. On the Xbox they have a they have the collect. I mean, I think it's on like other consoles too, I think. I mean, don't quote me on that, but
Hmm.
that's what I have is
Okay.
Xbox.
I'll
Um,
look for it.
but it's fucking hard, dude. That was what I was ranting about. Like retro, like especially you currently play video games, so just imagine
Uh-huh.
going back in time playing these
Mm,
like 8-bit, 16-bit video games
mm,
with limited controls. Like it's it's
mm.
fucking it's an adjustment. But I feel like I'm actually getting used
Uh-huh.
to it. But yeah, dude,
Nice.
I got to beat Turtles in Time. Fine, because my whole thing was, especially nowadays, I think I'm like feeling nostalgic with it because growing up, being the youngest sibling, I never actually owned my I never had my own Nintendo or Super Nintendo. I didn't have my own console.
Same here. Same here.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, I mean, and when I did play, it was well, my oldest sibling, my oldest brother, he had those consoles. So, I had to go through him to play.
Mm.
And also I was like really
Mm.
young. Like when the original Ninja Turtles game came out, I was super young. But yeah, I was really proud of myself when I beat Turtles in Time. I think I beat it in the Super Nintendo and the arcade version. But I don't know. I'm just like trying to relive some of my childhood. That was my argument. But also aside from Ninja Turtles, I downloaded this other collection where it had the original DuckTales. Are you familiar with DuckTales? Disney.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
original
DuckTales.
DuckTales 1 and 2. Then this other game called Chippendale, other characters. Um
Yeah, Chippendale. Yeah,
so
yeah,
there
I
was
got him.
Chippendale 1 and 2 and what was it? Um Darkwing
Aladdin?
Duck.
Aladdin?
No, no. Well, so like this is the cool thing about Xbox is that they have all these game retro game collections. So there is a
Yeah.
Disney one.
Yeah.
There is a Disney one that has Aladdin, Lion King, and I
Mm.
think Jungle Book or something like that. Um, but
Mm.
yeah, I'm just like instead of playing the new games today, I'm going back in time and playing
Uh-huh.
these old games.
That's what I do. That's what I do also. Especially because nowadays games are pretty much the same.
Yeah.
They're starting to focus too much on trying to mimic it or emulate movies. So you'll be like 15 minutes just watching CGI and cutscene. Dude, that sucks.
Well,
I
not
want to
even
play. I don't want to
not only
watch.
that,
I want
even
to play.
some of the games that like where like it'll tell you got to hit A to like
Mm,
something. Like even that
mm,
like is like that type of gameplay. I don't know what you would call it. But
mm,
I'm like that kind of I don't know. I feel like that kind of takes away from the game experience.
mm-hmm.
So I think like like Resident Evil 4 does it. Like there's a bunch of games that do. I just can't think of them right now. But
Assassin's Creed. Pretty much all of
probably
them.
yeah, probably. But I that
Yeah.
that was sort of my argument is that a lot of the games today are just so cinematic and
Mm,
like and I personally I have no problem watching people play video games either. Like that's what streaming is nowadays.
mm-hmm.
Like I used to just do
Mm,
that with my brother and my friends. Because it was kind of like watching a movie, even though it was just like a straight up game. Like I would watch my brother play Metal Gear, Resident Evil,
mm,
Final Fantasy 7. Like, but yeah, the graphics has been getting crazy, and it's like a movie now, and
mm.
that's why I like. That's why as terrible the retro. Well, I don't want to say terrible, but like you feel the era, you feel the generation that had to like. It's like, man,
Yeah,
this was video games
yeah,
for for us back then. I don't know. I find it fascinating.
yeah.
I'm
And
trying. I try to get my wife to
and
play
many
with me.
many gamers. Okay. Is he does it is he able is it possible for you to play co-op like two players at the same time? Because I remember I think there is in time you could play with your friend, like play one player two.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. I have two controllers. It's just
Oh,
Nicole
okay.
doesn't play video games. Like she's like, oh, you're playing kids games, and I'm like, shut up.
No.
No, but
Oh
yeah, like
man.
I don't mind playing co-op, but like I don't know what to play with.
All right, sure we'll play eventually, I guess.
Well, no, I kind of scarred her for life because back when Left 4 Dead was popular,
Mm,
I let
mm,
her play a game with me of Left 4 Dead, and I forget she did something, and it kind of screwed up the whole plan or whatever. So I ended up just killing her and then
mm.
moving on with the stage myself.
No, you didn't. No, you
Yeah,
didn't.
I just
You
fucking. I
can't
think
do
she
that.
shot
Come
me.
on,
I think
man.
she may have shot me by accident because she's not familiar with the configuration.
Mm.
So I think she shot me by accident. Maybe
It was like
caused
you
a
killed
zombie
her.
horde, and then I just gunned her down, and then like went off on my own.
No, you can't do that. That's what people do to noobs. You can't do that.
I know. Well, hey,
They're not gonna play anymore because you just spoiled it.
this was this was 10 years ago, so
Okay.
and we're playing. We're playing. I'm just trying to get her to play some old school games, so it's not crazy competitive.
Mm.
It's friendly.
Okay, nice. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
friendly. But when it comes to retro games, people always find it hard. I don't even know why. I used to play Contra. I don't know if you remember Contra.
Contra, hell yeah, that game was awesome.
Yeah, I used to play Contra too. I guess it was last week. If it's not last week, last month, I don't even remember properly. But I played it again, and uh, it was easy as it was back in the day. I'm not saying I'm a good player. I'm decent, I would say, but it was easy. But
Contra,
people,
yeah.
there's these professional gamers, esports athletes, and they couldn't pass the first stage. I was like, how is this possible? Is it the gameplay? Is it I don't know, dude. It's just
I well, I
it,
feel
it
like
was it,
I
it's
think it's
not
just the
hard.
graphics. I think I think the graphics is what makes it challenging because
Mm, yeah, maybe.
like it's not as immediate.
Uh,
Like I don't know. I don't know how to
mm,
describe it, but yeah,
yeah,
like if you try to
because
jump
I
forward,
always I always put gameplay over graphics.
yeah, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
I always put gameplay over graphics. Always. So graphics ain't everything. If the gameplay is good, it's playable, that's what's up. That's why I like Assassin's Creed though. They have very, very good gameplay.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
well, we're talking about like modern games. Yeah, yeah, I
Mm.
guess like the gameplay is what matters. Um,
Yeah, but still, if you put Super Mario and Sonic into the conversation or in the still they have terrific gameplay.
yeah,
Like you play once and as soon as you feel comfortable with it, you can play like for hours, no problem.
yeah,
You don't need for people to start saying, okay, press A, press Z, press whatever. You don't need that. It's just intuitive. It's just ludic. It just goes with the flow.
well,
Yeah.
I will say, I will argue that Nintendo games specifically are quite challenging because of the limits.
Mm,
Super Nintendo is not too bad. Like,
mm,
I mean, like you see, it's just it's dated, right? But like it's still fun. Nintendo is
mm,
just very challenging and frustrating.
mm.
No. Oh my
Is it
god.
because of the controllers? Because I play most of them on the computer. I use emulators, so I was
Oh,
like,
right. Yeah,
it's
I
just a
mean,
keyboard.
I think it's just the graphics, at the time. The graphics is just so limited. Like you can't like my
Okay,
my
okay.
my example was like if you and when you're trying like in Mario, let's say you're jumping over like the gap so you don't fall down and die. Like let's say you jump forward but try to like of
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
try to take it back and you try to like go back to the other direction. Like you can't like you would do that with games now, right?
Yeah.
Like the reaction timing
Mm-hmm.
is in real time, but playing like Mega Man or maybe Mario, like the
Back then.
original Nintendo Mario, like you can't do that. Like once you jump forward, you're going in that direction, or like you just drop down.
Yeah, yeah. There is no coming back.
Yeah, it's just funny though.
Mm.
Like when
Yeah,
you're
I
playing,
feel
it's
you.
like, oh
I
man, like
feel you.
this requires patience.
Yeah. So you need to have a good coordination with your thumbs to not press too much. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just the
you need to be
timing.
very mindful. Yeah.
Yeah, you just
Mm-hmm.
gotta have the timing right. Like you gotta have like you just gotta know how the timing is with the graphics, the gaming's reaction. Um, Also like
Mm-hmm.
in the Cowabunga collection, they got the fighting game too. I forget it's like Ninja Turtles tournament
Okay.
something. Have you ever played that?
Okay.
Oh, you might have been too young.
I think the only one I think I'm too young. The only one I remember is Tours in Time, and I
Okay.
think I forgot the title. Yeah, Tours in Time. I played on Mega Drive 2, Sega Mega Drive 2. I think
Okay.
for you guys it's Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, Turtles in
yeah.
Time
That's
is a
that's
popular
the only
one.
one I remember.
I think that generally
Mm.
everybody, if they played the old game, like it was guaranteed Turtles in Time. But it's just
Mm-hmm.
wild seeing like there were so many
Mm.
versions. I mean, of course they had the versions for each console, but even like for Game Boy, there were
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize they had a couple. Like there's so many games they had. I was trying to engage with my followers on Instagram, with the question, trying to get some follower
Mm-hmm.
questions. There is one
Mm.
person that actually submitted a question.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like a surprise segment here where we got a follower question. This question was submitted
Nice.
by GC underscore Jasper, and they ask, how did Gerson discover his talent for drawing?
Interesting. That's like the $1 million question. Everyone asks that. Well, I think it was. I think I said it before. Like every single kid around year one, year two, year three, until year seven, it's an artist. Like natural artist. If you give them a book, they're going to produce a massive art. Sorry, or drawing or painting or whatever. So for me, it was natural. My father also draws, so I grew up like watching him or see him drawing like pretty much everything from cars to people to houses, whatever. And as kids, we tried to emulate our fathers, like skills, personality, character, whatever. So I was like, okay, I want to do that too, and I tried, and it felt good. I was like, okay, that's decent. Maybe if I try to do it more often, it might be as good as him, and I kept on drawing and drawing and drawing, and I got into a point where it was just as easy as breathing, I guess. And I never stopped. I always draw, like whether it was in school, because I don't know about you guys there, but here in Angola, every single classroom there's like this one guy or two guys who draw, and they are like nemesis to each other, and it's good competition though. And for me, I always have there's always one guy in my class that draws also, and people always kind of antagonize us to put against each other and try to draw who has the best skills and stuff. So I was trying to improve myself because I have to prove them wrong, and I have to prove myself wrong also, and that's kind of kept the drawing and the artist thing alive because I was trying to improve myself, and I pretty much never stopped. Since I was a kid, I guess I was around 4 or 5 when I started drawing like for real. But I remember always drawing. Since my memory goes back in time, I always draw. Like whether it was on the wall, on books, I always draw. I think I would say it was natural.
Mm. Yeah, like a lot of when I'm doing these local market events, uh, you know, I
Mm,
I always have fall into the conversation of like being able to draw, because some people look at my work and they'll say, "Oh, I wish I could draw like this," or I
mm,
wish I can draw in general. And I tell them
mm,
like you just have to be intent with it. Like it's like, if you really want to, you just gotta like put in the reps, and you just
mm.
gotta like
And
practice.
and I'm glad you brought that up. So there's this quotation from I forgot the guy, but I got it from Sherlock Holmes and also Batman on Batman versus the Mad Monk, chapter 4. It says, I'm reciting the quotation. It says, once you have eliminated all which is impossible, then whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. And on a daily basis, we are always often trying to answer this question, why? And we most of the time we can't answer that question because we create too many impossible situations, too many impossible factors. And when people say, I wish I could draw like that, in their mind, they say, okay, maybe it's impossible for me to draw as he draws. But if you take the impossible thing out, then you got to believe you can do it. And if you do believe, you will.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to do it, anything, first thing first, we need to believe. That's when we get to acting. We do believe we can do it, and we just go. Sometimes it doesn't go according to what we were thinking or we were projecting, but at some point we are going to achieve something because we believe we could do it, and I think that's what's up.
And just like, I mean, I agree with that. And also I just want to add on to that is like, understand that, it requires a lot of practice, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
lessons, and
Yeah, good point.
trying things like, you know, uh I use this example a lot when people say like, oh, like all I can do is a stick figure. And I always tell them, I'm like, that's like the first step. Like if you can make a decent
Mm,
stick figure, that's technically a
mm,
gesture line.
mm-hmm,
So if you can get a gesture
mm-hmm,
figure going, now you just add in some of the simple basic shapes to emulate the body parts, and then
mm-hmm,
it's a step process.
mm-hmm.
So
Yes,
when
and
the
once
common
again,
person,
sorry to interrupt.
it's okay.
Before I forget, sorry to interrupt. This is I'm glad you brought that up too, because most of the time when people say, "Oh, I wish I could draw like he draw," they don't want they don't want to go through the process. They want your ability, and that's it.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
problem most of the time.
they
They
want
want what you have. They don't want the process. Yes.
yeah, they want your current ability as opposed to having to experience all
Yes.
that as well. So
Yes.
it's important,
Mm.
but that is what I tell people. I'm like, if you can do a stick figure, that's the first step, and you just go on from there.
Mm.
But it's like you have to want to do it. Like if you truly want to learn how to draw, surely you'll get there.
Mm.
And like your skill level, like how often you practice, how often you doodle, will determine the level of
Mm-hmm.
your skills. So just we're we're
Mm.
just Jerson and I, we're just trying to share the reality of any art form, really, right? Because
Mm.
you apply that uh foundation to like anything, like that's what it is, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, how did we learn how to run? We had to crawl first.
Yeah.
Even before
Yeah.
crawling, what did we have to do before crawling? We had to do what? Well, I don't know what you guys call it over there, but we call it tummy time. When your parent
Okay. Tell me.
when the parents would put their infants on their tummy to like build their, I think, build like their neck
Mm,
strength, and like, then they eventually started learning how
mm,
to like, move around, and like, like it's such a step process to develop and adapt. So,
mm,
you apply that to any practice, any art form, or any like
mm-hmm,
job. Like, that's just how you get better. So, I mean, I guess like what I'm saying
mm,
ultimately is like virtually, like, you could do like the thing that you wish you could do. It's just you have to have the intent to want to do it and like invest on it, right?
mm,
If you want to do it as a
mm,
hobby, like, yeah, I mean, then that's just a matter of like fitting some time to like go to a class, and
mm.
like, so there's levels to it. I feel like I'm like
And
going
and
deep
also
down on it,
and,
but
and also stop believing. So stop thinking it's impossible or it's limited to a few people. Not me. Only people have this and that. No, it's not impossible at all.
well,
Of
the
course, it's going
immediate
to be
stuff,
levels.
it's that like immediate self-doubt. Like we all deal with that though too. So like I get it, but
Mm-hmm.
kind of, it's like you said, you got to believe in yourself too. But first, I think it's just realizing like if you want to get better, you got to want to get better and try it and try to do it as frequent to regularly as possible. In my opinion, right? Who am I to say? But
Yeah. Yeah,
um
that's like what Dr. Dre said. If you want to make more dough, you gotta commit.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just got to commit more time and effort,
Yeah.
and then yeah, you'll learn how to draw better, you know.
Mm,
So usually towards the end of the podcast, I try to end with, more of a positive or more inspirational note. And I often,
mm,
especially by myself, I like to end on with like a inspirational quote. And it's just kind of funny that
mm.
you naturally kind of like drove that in that direction for me. Um, so do you mind sharing that quote from what was it, Batman? Because even though it's from Batman, it's still like
Yeah,
it holds
people
true.
are very skeptical about comic books. They forget real artists and real writers are behind it. I don't get it, that logic. Oh, this is from a cartoon. Oh, this is from a comic. Dude, the same dude who creates cartoon, the same dude who creates like critical thinking material. So what's your point?
Right.
Yeah, so I always try to, that's why my post on Facebook is always trying to kind of bring cut down these concepts, these wrongfully concepts when it
Yeah.
comes towards gaming and comic books and superhero and stuff, because they're not trying to think behind out of the box. They think inside the box. So yeah, if you think out of the box, then you can if you try to look for the bird picture, you see, okay, this is way deeper than it looks or than it sounds or than it seems. And yeah, it's from Batman versus the Bad Monk, which the Bad Monk is I forgot the name. Uh, Hugo Strange. Yeah, one of his main villains, Hugo Strange. So chapter 4, Batman was investigating this Mad Monk, so-called Mad Monk, because he didn't know it was Hugo Strange. And he recited one of Sherlock Holmes' main quotation, I would say, quotes, which says, "Once you have eliminated all which is impossible, then whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth,
Hmm.
because there is no longer the impossible. There isn't. So it must be the truth, and you can apply that to many things in life. Of course, you cannot take this literally. You can't. This is the same way we say, okay, kids, do not try this at home.
Yeah, yeah.
You cannot you cannot take this literally. But when you think of it, everything we believe, uh, it all started with us stop thinking it's impossible. Like when you think about radio waves, TV signal, like atoms and molecules and the air and whatever, and even God sometimes, you have to believe it's possible. If you don't believe, then, for example, if one kid asks you, how does Wi-Fi works? How does I'm able to transfer this picture? I'm here in Angola and I'm able to talk with this guy from USA. How does that work? How? You have to believe it's possible.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to eliminate the impossible factor. You have to do that. So yeah, this is a powerful statement for us. Oh, for me especially, because every single day we go through impossible situations. We create so many impossible nuances and situations, and once we only progress when we stop thinking it's impossible. When we think, okay, this might be possible. That's when we progress. That's when we lean towards the truth. If we are searching something on Google or whatever, or trying to figure out our way around life or whatever, we need to start thinking it's possible. Yeah. But still, this is not to be taken literally.
Yes. Let
And
that be
most
known,
importantly,
audience members.
yes,
Don't take well.
common sense is divided. Yeah.
Well, look, this is why I said in the very beginning of this episode that you're a bright mind. You are wise for your age, and I admire that. Um, when
Thank you, man.
or not when, but where can people find your art? Because we've talked about art.
Definitely on Instagram.
Okay, so
Mm,
yeah, what's your?
yeah.
Can you say what your Instagram is for the listeners?
Yeah. So at Gerson Lemos 23 altogether. No point, no underscore. At Gerson Lemos 23.
Perfect. Yeah. Um. Yeah, and I just want to say real
I was
quick.
about to say something else
Oh, you got what's up?
about positive thought. Quotation or quote. I was about to quote another one, which is, this is well known for the public, which is, there is no knowledge, there is not power, from Ralph Waldo Emerson. I think people underestimate this statement. This is a very important and a very powerful statement. Information is the key. Information is the key. Information, I'm about knowledge. Always try to learn something new every day. Always. And even the things you know, always try to verify if it's true also. Like constantly. This must be daily basis exercise. So yeah. And I'm talking about this because I come from a country where lack information is big time. That's why I help others by providing information and also give information. There's this kid I've been helping him with drawing lessons, because it is just hard to find material. It is just hard to find information on how to start drawing, how to create guidelines and whatever, which books, which material, which content, which skills, whatever. So information is the key, man. Like knowledge is the key. If you know something that you think this is very important, try to pass it on to other people, because there might be people who don't have access to it,
Yeah.
and you might be the bridge. So yeah.
Yeah. That's what's up. I like that. Well, I'm glad we got to do this because the last time we had to face some challenges, but we made
Yeah,
this
yeah.
happen.
As
We made prime time talk situation happen. I don't know why I call it a situation. It's not a situation. It was just prime time talking with my mind. Uh yeah. No, I'm always thrilled to like do this with you. It's always a good hang. Um and yeah, man. I mean, look, like obviously, you know, sometimes you don't like to post all the time your artwork, but I am curious to see some of the stuff you've done. So, I'm just saying, if you want to post
I
something,
know, I know. I'm not gonna promise. I'm not gonna promise anything, but I will eventually. I'm not promising, by the way. Yeah, I'm not
I'm
gonna
just
promise
fucking.
anything,
I'm
but
just
yeah,
fucking with
I
you.
feel you. I
I'm
feel
just
you.
messing
Don't
with you.
worry. I feel you.
No,
I
but
feel you.
for
And
for the
you're not actually the only one.
okay.
Many people say
So
the same thing. Why aren't you posting about? I was always drawing around the topic, always.
Oh,
But
that's
yeah, you
so
guys are
funny.
right.
Definitely check him out
Mhm.
on Instagram because that's where his work is at, and he's really talented. So definitely worth the visit. Give him a follow. Um, and yeah, and thank you everyone for tuning in. Uh, just a friendly reminder, if you haven't already, just please leave a like if you enjoyed the episode. Follow, subscribe, ring that notification bell if you want to continue to follow the podcast. And if on YouTube you want to check out more of my content, right, hit that subscribe button for my channel. And yeah, stay safe, stay healthy, and
Mhm.
always stay driven. And we shall catch you on the next one, folks. Peace out. Music.